Got drinks, got smoke, got weed, got all the girls, got everything we need. And I see them all, but who brought the fat girl? Drink another, smoke another, get retarded. I know this where the party is, so get this bitch started. And if you want some liquor, girl, you can go and lick a girl. Get it poppin' till like 6 in the morning. Come break it down.
I got a text from my friend who just totaled his car and he got a DUI. Said he's been having problems with alcohol, so I try to just keep him in the like just keep him in good hopes because it's hard to leave habits, dude. And so I was just like, what I always say is that there's always a deeper pit that you can go, and yeah, he fucked around and found out.
Is that the first one?
Yeah,
Thankfully.
thankfully.
That's crazy.
Hey, but he totaled his car though. That's a fuck, dude. When you use it, you use your car for everything, especially a young person.
Can't be doing all that,
Fuck
Yeah,
no, dude.
That's a tough one for the first one and total your car.
Fuck yeah.
that's
After and then like after you've been telling yourself that you've been trying to stay away from alcohol.
right.
That's
Yeah.
fucking. If you don't give a shit about not drinking, it's probably like well, fuck, I'll just have another drink. Fuck it,
Yeah.
But you have it's a double fucking whammy.
Fucking alcohol, man. That motherfucker, it destroys lives, literally, and shit. You know what I mean? And it's the most celebrated, which is crazy all over the world. Like it doesn't have the taboos that weed has, especially harder drugs, especially hallucinating, people, like acid and stuff like that. They're therapeutic and they can be, but what's all we've been raised where we toast and we cheers to happiness, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was actually I see everybody cheers, alcohol, and you're like, you're literally fucking cheers and you're cheering to injecting, putting out poison in your body, literally. So I'm like, I know it's I get it, it's a celebration of life, and what we've accomplished or whatever it is, it's a birthday and shit, but you're like fucking literally drinking poison. And you're like, cheers. Like you're cheering to health, but you're drinking poison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
If you want to call it poison, then whatever it is, I don't know. But and then as far as DUIs, like I've had my share. Well, not share, just one. Thankfully,
that's all you fucking.
That's all I
need,
need.
man.
Yes,
that's all you need. Damn.
Yeah, because that wake up call, it does. It's a snowball effect because it does affect opportunities. I've had opportunities that were lost, but maybe in their overall picture of it, it was for a good thing. Obviously at the time it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to drive drunk and get a DUI. Obviously that shit kills people. I'm not advocating for that, but it shifted me and made me the person I am today, and it shifted me to the direction of my wife, and especially the direction that I maybe shouldn't have gone anyway, or I wasn't cut out for. Because that's very hard work. It's law enforcement and customs and stuff like that. It's hard work, and you miss a lot of opportunities. So when any field is hard, but those fields, you miss a lot of family time and holidays, because that's what I was going for. That's why I missed the opportunity. Customs, I was in for to get into customs, but the DUI happened, and obviously and then my situation too. I was I don't know if I should be saying this, but I was in the military at the time, and I could have got in trouble. I could have got in trouble both ways, but I didn't. Thankfully, nobody found out, and everything was cool. So, but yeah, other than that, and then my Beto has his own experience, with alcohol himself. So
don't worry about me.
if you want to share, that's everybody has a little damn.
Yeah, no. It does fuck you up. I learned my lesson right away, right after. Because I wasn't never like a drunk or anything like that you would say. It was just the young people making stupid decisions. Thinking you were still cool, and which I felt body wise I was. But I know a lot of people say that to themselves, right? They say, "Oh, I'm good at drive," but you're really not good. But I did blow like barely over the limit. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was barely right over. But I learned that whole experience, being in handcuffs behind a cop car is not the way you want to live your life,
No.
So you know, like you said, it does ruin opportunities for you. It's always right there on paper. So, you know, they look at that and they already want to disqualify you. You know, even though
Yeah.
if you had the job and you got one, they'd probably suspend you and you still keep your job, you know, but they don't want that coming in. But it is what it is. You live and you learn.
Fuck
And
yeah.
what I've learned is you just got to control alcohol. You can't let it control you.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know, and that's what a lot of people have an issue with is they don't have a limit. You know, it's we're going out and we're gonna get shit faced every night. You just can't do
Mhm.
that. You know, you got responsibilities. You got shit to do. You know, you got family. You got to wake up in the morning to go to work.
Hey, for me personally, alcohol has always been that gateway drug. Cause
That's
if
more of a gateway drug than
if
fucking weed ever was. If anything,
once I get a drinking, then I want to get some powdering, and then it's over with, you know. And then
Damn,
it's
bro.
and that's just how
I
it
hear you.
hits.
I hear
But
you.
it turned
Had that feeling before, you know?
if I smoke a little fucking weed, I'll just
chill,
I'll
yeah.
just be chilling with the family or whatever, you know. So it's just better to not even deal with those kind of thoughts. Like, yeah, maybe I could have a drink, and I do have a drink, and I don't do anything,
Right.
but like it's just opening doors to things sometimes, like having, it's just odd. Everybody's different. You got to know your triggers, you know. You can have a
Yeah.
fucking drink, you could have a drink and you could just be chill, but it's just like, what if that time that you had a drink, something was going on in your life and you were more willing to say yes to certain things because you're like trying to fuck it, you know. Especially once you go down the downward spiral, then more shit starts to happen, and then you just want to throw it away more because you feel like it's already
Yeah.
fucking lost. So
Sorry,
who
yeah.
gives a shit, you know? Same thing like with breaking up with girls, you know, like a lot of ex-addicts struggle breaking up with girls because their first thought would be to go use, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, like there's more than that, and you don't have to throw away your life just because of one little you know, mishap, I guess, you know. But it's hard, and everybody got their own triggers, dude, and there's always a deeper hole. There's always a deeper hole.
It's crazy because not everybody's raised the same or raised as, you know, as one should, you know, or, you know, with good values and whatnot. So you don't know how to disseminate pain or conflict, and sometimes, like you said, you know, Beto said that they can't control it. Sometimes they don't want to control it. At least with me, that's when I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't want to. People would tell me, you don't know your limits. Yeah, I didn't know my limits because I didn't want to have them, because whatever was fucking with me, I just wanted to get rid of that feeling.
Yeah, you didn't want
So
to
it
have
didn't really
limits.
matter, you know. At the end of the day, the next day I regretted it, obviously, but yeah, that's how it affected at least me. So they might, you know, that, and then what you said, everybody's tolerance is different, you know. Everybody's triggers is different, you know. Everybody's gone through different experience, so you don't know, you know. Some people can mentally recover and then drink alcohol, but then some people can't. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's weird, but not weird. But you know, it's different for everybody.
Let's talk about that if you're okay with it, because like you said, you know, you wanted to forget the pain, and you basically drunk all night just to forget, you know, anything, and then in the morning you regret it. But what led to doing it again that night or the next night? Well, why didn't it just, like, in the morning when you regret it, you're like, okay. Did those bad things in your mind come back and you're like, fuck, I want to forget it again? Or what was it?
You know what? Well, sometimes, because now in retrospect, I'm like, you know, I've gone through some shit, but people have gone through way worse. So a lot of it, but I didn't know how to handle those situations or whatever situations came up growing up because I, you know, whatever, lack of father figure, lack of authority, or whatever you want to call it. You know, so I didn't know how to handle situations that were presented to me. So what did I do? You know, I fucking drink away, because obviously when you drink, you forget about shit. You don't want to deal with that shit in that moment, but you still the next day got to deal with it. So what I do in order not to deal with it, drink again. So it was just like a cycle of, but during the week when I had to go to work, that's when I was fucked, because obviously you got to think about the shit that you're going through, or how your mind's fucking with you, because it's a lot of
I felt that so much.
From what I've noticed, now that I can drink, you know, I can drink a couple. Like, I have that control because I, you know, fixed, you know, my self-esteem issues, or my mental, you know, what I was lacking or whatnot. So now I can, but at that moment, I couldn't, you know, deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it, you know, as an adult. So I'd fucking say, fuck it, you know, this is the way of my dealing with it. And then obviously too, because I didn't have that self-confidence that I do now, just to talk to people in general, not just, you know, talk to girls, you know. but just anybody in general, just have conversations, just get to know people, because there's cool people out there who have different lives, and but I was always in that shell. So whatever I do to get out of that shell, I would drink alcohol.
Yeah.
And in order to stay the life of the party, and feeling that, I would go to do harder things to keep keep partying. But then that's that double negative effect, and then along with cigarettes too. Like all that week, I felt fucking depressed, and there were some bad weeks right there, bro. I'm like yeah. So, but then now it's totally different. Then my body, I'm obviously older too, so my body's rejecting alcohol. Obviously, because I'm chavarrucos and shit.
Yeah, dude.
But I had no intention, where before, let's fucking get fucked up. But now I'm just like, a little beer, a little taste, that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, I guess that's what separates it from social drinking and going overload. No, it's people who drink who have I don't want to say like bad stuff in their head. Like they're going through some shit, so they don't drink to enjoy the moment. They drink to forget the shit that they're going through, basically.
And
that's the difference between
in the AA book, it talks about the alcoholic having an allergy to it, and there's a difference between. It says there's a difference between the social drinkers, but there's an alcoholic. Right when he gets that first sip, there's no going back. There's no saying I'm gonna drink 4 beers. There just isn't, And just some people it fucking clicks a lot different, and I've seen it in people, like some people you wonder like, damn, this fool could really just drink and go to work the next day, and they'll just be chill. And then some people really, really should not have a drink. Sure, 100%. Like you're just cooler like this, dude. Don't even do that.
Yeah, but I think that person that does have a drink and goes to work also has an issue, But they just their body can just take it better than other people, but they also have something they're dealing with that shouldn't be happening, right? Especially if it's 5 days a week and they're going through the same process. It's like it's not necessary.
Yeah, and then sometimes those folks are not eating, and they're not. Well, when you drink alcohol, you don't get REM sleep. Like that's been proven. So when you get drunk and the next day you're like, even if you didn't get fucked up, like the next day you're still feeling like, I feel like groggy. Like what the fuck? I slept. Even if you slept like 10 hours and shit, you were like, what the fuck, or 9 hours. It's because of the alcohol. It does that to you. So I mean, imagine drinking. I know guys in the construction trade. This guy would drink like a 30 a day, I think.
Yeah, at 30 a day, dude. And then they go work construction.
And he already passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, he was like, geez, and some people can do that and they can still go to work. Me personally, no. If I'm gonna drink alcohol, I don't count. I'm gonna call in sick the next day. If I want to get fucked up, no, because it just I'm not gonna put myself in a situation. But I'm not. Yeah, even now I wouldn't put myself in that situation anymore, because I've gone through it and it sucks. I've gone to work fucking hungover, and it's not the greatest.
Worst shit ever. Going to work hungover has made me not drink at all. Because I'm fucking sitting there, like, and especially if you don't like the job. Especially if you don't like the job, dude. If the job sucks or you're outside and shit, you're just pouring sweat, dude. And you're like questioning why. And then some people still do it though, and that's the great mystery. It's the great mystery as to why you go back to it.
Me saludos and shit. There's some
and Daniel, when you were in rehab, did they have alcoholics in there as well?
Oh fuck yeah. Dude, the alcoholics though, there is a guy in one of the annexos, and so when you're an alcoholic, you cannot drink water, and if you've been drinking consistently, you can't drink water. The moment you drink water, you die.
Okay.
But your body is thirsty, so you have to opt to drink liquids cut with alcohol so that you can survive. Alcoholics aren't gonna do that, so you're just gonna run your liver already with no resources, right? So there's a guy taking care. They would put him in detox, and in detox, well, obviously, like heroin addicts mostly, and alcoholics would be asking for stuff because either your body's aching or you're really thirsty. And so they gave this guy. The guy woke up at night, and there was a guard. He was young, and the guy was pleading him for water. He's like, I'm really thirsty. I need water, but you can't give him water. It has to be Tonayan cut with. They use Tonayan with apple juice.
Watch the table, bro.
So this kid didn't give it to him. with anything in it and just gave him water, and he ended up dying in the
Oh,
detox.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
The
my
alcoholic
God.
withdrawal is the worst out of all the
that's
drugs.
isn't that crazy? I think that, and there's only one other thing. I don't know if it's fucking Xanax or Prozac that
Yeah, yeah.
if you quit it
Xanax.
fucking
Yeah,
it can kill
Xanax.
you and shit.
Xanax, yeah,
Xanax, there you go.
yeah.
Just
And when you
quit it
first
cold
went in
turkey.
there, were you like, did you take the alcoholic serious, or were you like, nah, like that's nothing, bro, compared to
Nah,
what I've done, you know? Or did you
no.
just
There.
like,
My respects to the alcoholics, dude.
No,
My respects to the alcoholics, and my respects to the discipline that they had in their program, because their program was a lot different from NA. NA was
Okay.
more of the softer people. For some reason, alcoholics were more of the old school. Those
Yeah.
were old school, old timers, you know?
yeah,
And they were usually people with good jobs. They were people like us, but at some point along the line, they lost it all and they literally just drank themselves. And it's so crazy to see a politician in the, because there's the paid one and then there's the free annexos, and in the paid ones you'll see the politicians who come in who work for the government, and they can't stop fucking drinking. They'll just drink till they piss themselves sitting down in the table.
at work, huh?
Yeah.
In the fucking
Damn.
office
Yeah.
and shit. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Damn. Jeez,
Damn,
they're just
that's
people from
nuts.
all walks of life.
And that's when I was like, damn, because I knew that there was alcoholics, but I didn't see. I like you said, you didn't take them serious. Not that you didn't take them serious. It was just another vice, and you just
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
understand it because you think that they're all different from each other. When in reality, the effects are the only thing that are different. The addict is kind of alike in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
I think it's not
The way of thinking.
people probably don't see it as serious as if you're addicted to cocaine or
Oh yeah,
methamphetamine,
and
like on the street.
exactly. Yes, and like in the rehabs, the only alcoholics that were in there, it's because you fucking had a
You have to fucking do it.
yes,
It's
because
madre.
Yeah,
among
yeah.
Mexicans,
like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio
It's
and
all
fucking
right.
Wolf on Wall
Yeah.
Street. Huh?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
fucking-
if among Mexicans it's like se le va a quitar, es borracho, no, like he would just stop, or like that's how he
Yeah.
is, or even the family drinks a lot, so his drinking more than that isn't probably a lot to them because they already drink a lot, so it's like,
yeah.
you know. And so I think the cases that were typically in there were the extreme cases, whereas to a kid would probably get put in rehab because he was doing cocaine in a 6-month span, 3-month span, you know, because their parents found it and they got really scared.
And they just fucking-
Yeah, but the meth addicts, like some of them, it was more like you probably did it a few times, or like it a lot of the times they didn't get to the extreme, whereas to the alcoholics that were in there, it was always extreme, you know, because of the social opinion of that of
Yeah.
alcohol, you know, especially in Mexico. I went to rehab in Mexico, so over there it's a lot more difficult for you to get put in, even as a young person, into that next one. It's kind of funny.
Isn't
You know?
isn't it crazy? Like our culture, they freaking like, you know, when it comes to like the es el tío borracho, or you know, it's kind of, it's not talked about. It's kind of swept under the rug. You know, déjalo
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
déjalo
yeah.
ser, you know, but or
Trabaja
yeah.
mucho.
Yeah, trabaja. There's
Yeah.
an excuse, you know, or
Trabaja
for other
mucho.
behavior. I remember the other behavior. This was I knew somebody who their godmother was what's it called when they steal?
Oh, kleptomania.
Yeah, kleptomaniac, and they would
Yeah.
just hide their purses every time she would
yeah,
show up.
and
They wouldn't
not
like,
say
you know,
nothing.
confront her. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, so I don't, yeah, a lot of shit that, you know, especially like Chicano, you know, they go through all the households, like
But
it's
they
not talked
kinda
about.
shut it up until it
Yeah.
gets to the extreme, and
To explode.
I did see that a lot in Mexican rehabs,
Mm.
or I think in every rehab, because I think generally households aren't prepared to when the fuck do you say no? Like, this has got to stop.
Right.
Like, you know, because everybody's kind of looking at each other like, well, it's either like, or
Nobody
like
wants to be the bad guy.
or
Yeah.
tell someone else how to live their life, because that's
Right.
what they say. Like, you can't tell someone else how to live their life, but at least you got to intervene once,
Right.
you know, at least one time. The
Mhm.
second time is another, but to, like, sometimes you're so into that life and it becomes your reality so much that you forget that you were living some other way,
Yeah.
and you can't even remember the last time that you felt good. That's what happened this past year, 2 years. I've been struggling with success and accepting it. accepting
Oh,
success.
yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
used to never completing my classes. I was used to never
It
getting.
was fucking up.
Yeah, I always had something going on in my
I
life.
felt that.
Yeah, and either it was my car, or it was my friends, or it was my mom, or it was school, and then it was nothing was ever going good because I was never putting in my part, and the only part that I put, it was never 100%.
No.
So now that I'm kind of putting effort, and I get what they call imposter syndrome is that I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't accept this life. Or am I really doing this? Or like, what am I really doing here?
Right.
Because we're not used to doing what we want to do and what makes us happy while being sober, So,
Yeah.
but going back to the extreme, I thought it was really interesting. And I think I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm doing my work with the community, is that you don't have to your son doesn't have to go be smoking crack in a house with no windows. You don't have to get to that point if you want to do something about it. It always starts with like those little decisions that you say, oh, I feel sad, I might invite my homies over to drink. Like, maybe if you're sad, you probably should just like chill with your homies. Yeah, you should chill with your homies, you should be around people, but probably alcohol just prolonging your issue here. Yeah, because
Or go to the gym.
Yeah, or go to the gym, or just think of, because honestly, weed will put you in that, and like, since you overthink it, it might also, for some people, it just might even be bad, because then you're just overthinking it. What's going on, or I've had that. So I've had times where I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't smoke right now because I'm already in my head too much, and then if I smoke more, I'm gonna be in my head more. So
actually, I never thought about that. That's a good point though, because sometimes especially like smoking, sativas, like there's times your mind can go a little crazy.
Yeah,
you're like,
dude.
what the fuck? But
and someone sane wouldn't know how to control those thoughts, or
Right.
just say, so if you're not in a good spot mentally,
if you don't have that mind check,
you don't need to be talking to fucking the mirror, in the morning to say that you might have a little issue there,
Right.
or behavioral issue. And I thought
just being real with yourself.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Same with people who take their kids, parents who take their kids to the psychologist, but will take their children to yearly checkups, but they don't go check up in their head.
No, Right.
I'm not saying that everybody's crazy, but it's good to know what's going on in there. It's good every once in a while, like,
to be some bad stuff going on.
Am I happy? Like, am I happy? Have I ever asked myself that?
Do I serial killer and shit?
Yeah,
like, what the hell you thinking about, bro?
Nothing.
Right.
Some people ain't got the lights on, but it's always good to know what's going on in there.
Got the lights on
to see if you're all right.
Yeah,
because you don't have to be drinking to not have any emotional issues or things like that. People think that's like the
People think that's why people drink.
Yeah,
right?
Those are just the consequences of the issues that are in. Those are like the red lights telling you, like, yeah, you got something more going on in here.
Right.
Yeah. Talking about drinking, happy birthday, broski.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How old are you? 44?
44 for the big 44, Mr. OJ Simpson. Wasn't that his number? 44? I
don't know.
OJ Simpson.
Should be proud of OJ Simpson. Sorry about that. Hashtag got away with murder.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be 44?
You know what, bro? It's kind of it's cool, because they say your 40s are the best years of your life, and then so far they have been. But just it's not. Time has passed, obviously, and it's crazy how my physicality now, how physical I am now. If I just would have focused on it, but I think now, thinking about it, it's not really healthy to think like that, because you're thinking about what ifs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm honest. It does pop into my mind where I'm like, fuck, if I would have started this, when I was fucking 12, I could have been a fucking gone professional or something anywhere, because of that mindset that I have right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have it back then, but. That's the only bummer. But life's great, dude. I got my great wife. I got you guys. You know what I mean? Got my niece coming, beautiful niece now. So life there's struggles, obviously. because trying to make your own life, especially when you want to follow, your dreams and do what you want to do, it's not, it's not easy. So there are risks and there are sacrifices that one must make. But no, I'm feeling great. Like I said, I feel good for 44, for what it is. So yeah, I had a great time. Had some carne asada, from the broski, some tripas with the family and a little cake. We just saw the fights, just
Okay.
hung out. Got inked up again. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but
There you go.
it's a American traditional eagle. Shout out to the homie Alfonso Higuera. Hit him up at Mechanical Rose Tattoos. Get yourself tatted up. But yeah, and that was pretty.
There
It
you
was.
go.
I don't know
Shout
if
out.
it's yeah. Getting gotta shout out to the artists. Gotta stay loyal. But one thing I noticed, like tattoos, like it does drain you. So I really don't want to. Like I wanted to celebrate my birthday. Well, not celebrate. What the hell am I celebrating? But I want to like go. I was supposed to hang out with the homie Jose, but I didn't go because I felt like kind of like shit. But then we were watching the fights here, so I mean, I'll see him later on, which is hopefully not too butthurt, but maybe I. But yeah,
The bum fights. But
no,
yeah, that's good.
Fights,
I mean,
Lord have mercy.
you can't, like you said, we can think of the past and hope we did better or hope we started something better. But I think everything happens for a reason. When I started thinking like that, I felt way better. Not everybody starts their chapters in life the same way, right? So that's the same way somebody we know could be married at 22 and have kids and have the career. That's cool. I'm happy for them. But that's not going to happen for me. That's not going to happen for the next person, Everybody starts different, There's some famous people out there, that started acting when they were like 30 or 40, and then turned big. There's people who invented stuff at 40 that didn't do shit at 30 or 20, so let's go ahead, Daniel.
There's a show going on about Christ's life, and he is in one of the scenes. I think it's Peter. Peter has a bum. One of them has a bum leg.
Yeah.
And he goes up to him and he asks him. He's really nervous to talk to him because he's talking to Jesus, and it's the performer of miracles. And he says, I just have a question on my heart. And he says, well, speak. And he says, how come you haven't healed me? He's like, do you have faith? And he's like, yeah, I've seen it in front of my eyes, and then he says, well, then your story would be one of millions, and you'd go, but the fact that you're here still worshiping God, and this is your own story, and the impact on your story will have on other people, and it put it in perspective. Like it was a funny way seeing it at a show. Religion is something else, but I really like the life of Christ. I think he's an interesting historical figure, and he was a radical, so it fits what I like, and so that hit me, and I was like, damn, that's so true. It's its own story, and it's written in its own way, and it's gonna unfold the way it unfolds, and there's beautiful things, but sometimes you got that limp, and you wanted the life without the limp, but you got a life, and the life that you got, you rejoice, No, I thought that was really interesting.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm, I'm focused, and I know, that is the case, like you're saying, Beto, and but it was just a thought that just on my birthday that it just came to my head, but it's nothing, it's not, I know, everybody's path is different, and but yeah, I know it's good, to be with you guys here and just talking about, our lives and shit. So I can't be more grateful than that. I'm glad that we finally came back and started doing it again, because there was a time, I was like, fuck, are we gonna do it or or not? But we actually came together and said, fuck it,
Yeah, what you just keep doing something and you tweak it as you go. Like not every show we're not producers, we're not any of that. So we're just going as we go. And you make improvements, and I think that's a beautiful thing when you stop focusing on the end and just enjoy the trip.
I had to do that coming into the podcast because
enjoy the trip.
That makes sense.
Because when we started the podcast, like I was treating it more like a show, but then I was like, no, we're just conversating, we're just talking, and like you keep it kind of like just like we
Yeah.
are now.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's
Yeah.
gonna be like not scripted, but
Yeah.
like not planned either. But you know, like you know what I mean?
It's like it's like this is the show, and then,
Right.
but you just get into your head too much
Yeah, yeah,
about this show. But it's like just be yourself and just do, and that's what people enjoy at the end of the day. Because I was telling Enzo about this. He makes beats and everything, and he's doing his thing with local artists, and so oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Okay. There's someone that's
Okay,
gonna
Joey
be fucking
Diaz.
listening. There's someone that's gonna be listening to your shit or to anything that you're doing, even one person. And for an example of this is that I was watching this ex addict, and you know how Instagram puts you to these random my algorithm takes me to these random ass profiles, and I ran into this recovering addict, and he had an old and I really, it resonated with me because he was also Mexican American. He was from Texas, and it was just this glimpse into his life, but he still had videos from when he was in active addiction. And so there's this video of him who has a guitar and he's playing like folk music, and there's like some kind of vibe that comes out of Mexican American making music because of all the influences that he has, you know, and all the influence of the Mexican American has living in two cultures. And I genuinely go back and play that Instagram Reels and watch it and then play it from the car. And I said, dude, who gives a shit about this guy? Well, I do. I like the song, and I tune in and I put while I'm driving, and Enzo laughs, but it's like, it's so true. Someone's gonna, I don't fucking know the guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know me or anything. It was just a random profile that I stumbled upon when I'm just like scrolling through there and everything. And I was like, damn, it puts it into perspective. Someone's gonna like it and it's gonna impact someone. And it's better to have one cool person that says, hey, I really enjoy what you're saying and I digest it, and you know, and I take your advice to a certain extent or whatever. And that's the truth. And you get so caught up about comparing yourself to others when you're just in your own race, in your own thing. And when you're in your own thing, there was a study that some of the happiest there was a study in the psychology book that I was reading that the most benefits from happy societies is less competition. And the less competing societies had a greater time and had better levels of happiness. And we live in a capitalist society again, and we're always competing. Everybody's competing for everything, you know. So like, it's good to just say, well, you know, if I'm not competing, then I don't have a game to win, and I could just have fun.
Be grateful.
I can make my own game. Yeah, and just have fun and be grateful for what's going on, you know.
For sure. But I do have that faith that
Exactly.
you talk about, and and I use it every day because that faith has helped me. It's helped me, to get that interview, for that. Hopefully, that goes through, and I'm free now to help take care of Tuti. So there is opportunities there that that have brought, that they just fall into place basically so far.
I made my quote for the awards for they're giving the awards for graduation or whatever. I'm not trying to get a scholarship, but my quote was, every silver lining has a touch of gray.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is ever going to be perfect ever, dude.
For sure. What's up, Chi? You gonna say something?
Yeah, it's Daniel talking about the podcast. That's funny because when I edit it, a lot of time, I don't know if you guys rehear it, but I always rehear it because I edit it, so I go through it piece by piece. And a lot of stuff that Daniel has said in this podcast, as well as you, Ivan, but a lot of things that Daniel has said, through his schooling and all the stuff that he's done, like while I'm listening to it, I'm hearing it, and I'm like, shit, this motherfucker is making a lot of sense right now, It's like, it's coming into my brain, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's why I was like this, or that's why, and it's, I'm watching it myself, I'm here listening to you guys as a brother, and I'm like, and it's captivating me, and I'm like, fuck, so if it could do that to one other person, and we did our job, they heard us, what we've been through, our issues and shit like that, and it's just crazy. Daniel watches that video on the guy on the guitar. People do different shit,
Yeah. And in the video, he's like all fucking in the video he's all fucking musty and like it's like it's just so random.
He's looking
And
what stock is short.
yeah, no. He's looking like going to smoking the hair, injecting heroin and like that kind of rough.
damn.
That
He
kind
lives
of-
on State Street and on Central.
yeah. His hair is a type like a drug addict type of greasy.
Oh
Greasy.
shit.
and so yeah, I'm like, hey Enzo, you know, if don't nunca te agüites, bro, because there's always something out there for everyone, and the important thing to know is that the people in your hometown sometimes aren't going to be the ones that are going to be listening because they truly want to listen. Just sometimes it's just, and it's not bad. It's just that they know you, so it's a lot different than if you get a fan from fucking Ohio, and he's like, hey, dude, like I feel what he's saying, you know, and
sometimes
show love.
Sometimes, unfortunately, they're just haters, bro. A lot of, you know.
So that's another kind of worms, you know.
Yeah.
That's another kind of worms, and
Yeah.
No, yeah, but
Or
no,
maybe
you know,
or maybe they just can't relate to us, you know?
yeah, that too. Some people had different kind of homes.
Yeah, maybe they
yeah,
just
definitely.
don't
Not-
relate
not a
to
lot of
us, you know, because they were born in the same place, you know, grew up similar to what we did. And, you know, there's people out of the city that we grew up in that probably haven't seen the stuff that we talk about, you know, so they find it more relatable.
For example, when I was in Florida,
Mhm.
I didn't know that it was a big deal to live 7 minutes away from the border.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the power in that until I left. And I would tell these stories and
Yeah.
like when I would be in middle school for lunch, you would sometimes see illegals running and the
Running,
border
yeah.
patrol getting them. What kind of school? Well, there's really limited schools that are that close to the border. And so like when I'm talking
Yeah.
about this in La Peda or whatever right there, you see their reactions and you're like, holy shit, this is not normal then, you know, then I might have some value in my own experiences, you know, even how even as mundane as they might seem to me, I'm just in my head so much and I hear myself so much that I think it's normal. Then I put it on a podcast and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm pretty tripped out, or you
Yeah.
know, stuff like that.
Or whatever you did or we do,
Yeah.
like it's tripped out to them.
Yeah,
But it's normal for us.
Yeah.
And
So,
vice versa, you know what I mean?
yeah, there's a lot of value in your experience that you might not take into consideration, you know.
And even just the three of us, have gotten, you know, have gone closer together just doing the podcast. So we've helped ourselves. So imagine, you know,
Yeah.
who we're gonna help if we can help. Like the sky's the limit, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to take it.
That's
into
why we
direction
started to help ourselves.
Well, yeah.
of having more artists
Yeah.
in here. And
Shout out
connect-
to Shade's niece.
who should they need?
I think I know she listens to the podcast and leaves comments on YouTube.
Oh, Haley or Ariana?
Ariana? Yeah, I think it's probably Ariana.
Okay,
She's the
okay.
oldest one.
She
She
got-
probably
she
listens.
got-
Haley's like
Shout out to
10.
Ariana.
I don't know. Hey, dude, hey, you seen the
Haley-
baby
yeah,
with the
shout out to Haley.
iPad?
I know,
man.
right?
You
Yeah.
seen the
She-
baby? with the
You seen
screen.
Juju trying to come on the
No
podcast?
cap.
Yeah.
No cap. With the head
Look at
check.
her.
Trying to sign up and shit. Wish your day.
She's posting on her ex profile.
I'd rather bring on Juju than, you know. I'm just kidding. Love you, love. Yeah, gotta have
That's
faith.
what's up, though.
That's right.
But yeah,
How? Hey, Beto, how do you
I think-
feel
I was- go ahead.
the days are coming closer to when you see your daughter and you hold your daughter? That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, bro, it's
That's
coming.
For
Oh
some
my God.
people, that's
Yeah.
like some of their biggest getting married.
It's coming like a tsunami.
Mm-hmm. And like it changes. I don't know. I think I'm in my head a lot, so I'll be going through a lot of shit. I'll be like, what?
Well, I'm sure he's thinking a lot.
So what do you
We
feel?
don't see that, but
Yeah, I try not to. I try to, you know, I'm an overthinker as it is, so I try to just keep my mind
Amen.
blank a lot of times, just for that reason, because I think somebody
Like a
needs
real
to
man.
be the calm one, you know, and
yeah,
not like a real man, but I think someone needs to be the calm and the peace and the tranquility, and I think
Yeah.
Dom, you know, already has a lot going on her plate with the baby and
Mhm.
stuff, and with the medical stuff going on, so I just try to, you know, try to relax about it, but of course, you know, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's getting real close. I say like a month. It's supposed to be like a month and a half, but I mean, it could be any day now. You know, through the stuff that she's going through, it could be tomorrow. You don't know. So just getting everything ready. You know, getting the room ready, putting the picture frames up, washing all the clothes. Because you know, I you know, if I would have had a baby, I wouldn't have washed the clothes. But you know, I buy a shirt, I put it on. But there's people out there that wash out their clothes. Like they always ask me like, "Hey, do you wash your clothes when you put it on and rip the tags off?" No, I just rip the tag off and throw it on. But people touch it.
Depends.
Oh,
For me, it
I'll
depends.
think about it. For you, it depends. That depends
Yeah.
where you buy it. Maybe that depends.
How
But
it smells.
Stuff-
Sometimes like a new smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
like it. I like it fucking fresh out the rack, dude. I don't like it. I don't know. It just makes
That's
it
what
feel
I'm
stiff
saying.
too. Yeah, it
I
feels
don't
Still
know
got
when you're
the-
thrift shopping though. You know what I mean?
Oh hell no! Hell no.
Yeah, watch out for the fucking piojos and
Yeah.
shit, bro.
Sometimes I can't get over the fucking
shit's stiff
dusty
for another
ass smell,
reason.
bro. I need to go in there with gloves sometimes. It smells so dusty in there. Some of those
Little
stores,
flea
man.
dip, you know, little,
Yeah.
little rate spray.
Little family of fleas under the armpit.
Bro.
Yeah, but no,
But yeah.
you know it. I don't know how to explain it. It's not. I'm not nervous. I just kind of just want to get it started with, just like anything in life. If you got an
a lot
interview
of
next
buildup.
week, like you kind of just want to get it over with. You want to
Yeah,
do it and get it
yeah,
over
it's
with.
the
And those
buildup.
weeks that you're
Mhm.
waiting for it kind of makes it worse. Those days, those hours. So I'm nervous about the whole hospital situation. I am nervous about that because life can throw anything at you. You can throw curveballs. So I am nervous about that part. But God is going to be there. I'm praying He's going to take care of it. Everything's going to go good. But besides that, when she's here, just loving her, man. That's all I'm excited to do is just love her, just be there every day for her until she grows up, and give her everything I got. All the love I have inside me, and that's what I'm looking forward to, man. Is stuff that I really, I had it with my mom. Of course, she always showed me love, but a dad real close to you growing up, I think is a necessity. And I'm just excited for that chapter and to be able to give my all, and I want to have her and feel like, how can someone not want to be here for this moment? I want to realize that while looking at her in her eyes, and she's looking at me, and just be like, how could someone not want to be here? Because I don't get it. I don't think I ever will, but it is what it is. I can't get into other people's brains and figure that out for them. But that's basically what I'm going through right now. So
Right on.
that's that.
Dude, just don't forget that this life is unfolding right before your eyes. So just just enjoy every day.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride every day.
Yeah.
'cause then,
I don't know about the lack of sleep, but enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah,
turns, bro.
enjoy
Take
the
turns.
lack
of
Shifts getting rest. Come on, like the military, bro.
yeah,
Shifts.
like dolphins.
1 hour watch. Guard
But-
duty, bro.
I'm already on lack of sleep. Pregnant women don't
Come on.
really let you sleep. They take up the whole bed. They snore.
No respect from that.
They get up to pee
the
every
wifey.
5 minutes. So
I do
that's
that
a
too.
struggle in
Shit.
itself. So I'm used to it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Like I tell her, just let her out already. Let her out. She's not ready.
Open the floodgates or what?
She's ready. Yeah, open the floodgates. Let her.
Hey, 5 more minutes. You got to get crispy on the side.
All right.
You gotta crisp up on
Be
the
well
side.
done, bro.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, because she's already past the preemie stage, I think. So
Ooh,
anything that,
that's
like, if she was born tomorrow, she would be perfectly fine. She's like 5 pounds already. She'd be perfectly fine and healthy and everything. So it's basically,
be a
like
little
Daniel
pale,
said,
a little white, but
it's
she
just
got it.
At a heavy
just-
5 pounds. Tutti. Tutti YSI.
Yeah.
Coming in a solid 5 pounds. A solid 5 pounds.
yeah, like Daniel said, she's just getting a little crispier in there. Make sure
Come
Comes
on.
out.
Burn the oven there, bro. Burn in the oven there. A little
nice
too
and-
crispy.
Don't want that medium
There's-
well. You want it well done.
No. Coming out.
Your friend from Vegas from it reminded me of your friend's gamer tag. It said black but not burnt.
Who's it? Who?
I think it was Emmanuel. Yeah, Emmanuel, right. Black but
Emmanuel.
not burnt.
Oh, is that
That
right?
fucking guy. I got a story about that guy.
Yeah.
He's cool. Though. He's
Black but not burnt.
That fool is shit.
That's valid.
Hey, that fool got in trouble. That fool got in trouble in the Air Force. He did his taxes and shit. But I'm fucking. The homie hookups supposedly and shit. Throw these fucking people in there. Throw these people in. And then we were chilling in the warehouse. And the Air Force, the Office of Special Investigation shows up.
Oh hell no.
Manuel Wright, come with us. And like, all right, give me get my stuff. And it's like, hey, fool, what'd you do? He's like, man, he's like, fucking taxes and shit. I was like, fucking, why you do that? And he told me that. He just said taxes right there, but later on he told me, yeah, I fucking fucked up. And put in the cousins and shit. Clean them, the babies, and
Claim everybody.
food.
Claim the whole block.
Nah,
Yeah, you can't fuck with the IRS. You know better than that.
Nah, hell
No,
no.
at
Shit,
all.
Don't play no
Shout out
games.
to Right.
They don't play. Oh, did you hear? Didn't Trump fire like a bunch of people from the IRS, or is going to?
I'm sure. I don't know what those people were doing.
I read that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that, bro?
Daniel, you know anything about that?
No, I'm not sure, but I do know that they were firing a bunch of people, and they were
Just
even
in general, man.
and they even have a new. I don't know if it's new, but there's an internal tax revenue fraud prevention agency now
Mhm.
that they're going to be dedicated to investigating things thoroughly of what's been going
okay.
on, because 2020 was they had the EDD. Everybody was doing the unemployment that didn't even work for that long. There's people taking out loans.
Oh yeah.
There's
I
all
remember that.
kinds-
Yeah, I
the
remember the
PPP
loans.
loans.
Yeah, and the people think they don't have to pay it back and what they
Yeah.
do and shit.
Uh-huh.
They thought it was free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or some of them
Exactly.
claimed that they were making this much so they could get this much, or like businesses and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people in 2020 had scaps, the Chargers and everything, man. The Hellcats. There's a lot of that.
Straight.
Oh heck yeah!
fraud
Everybody had
motherfuckers
those
at the
bad
time.
boys.
Fuck.
I was
That
gonna
sucks.
call
And,
Daniel,
that sucks to the people who didn't work. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
sorry, bro.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I worked all through COVID, so I didn't feel none of those. I didn't get
Yeah,
no
me too.
little
So, I mean-
check or nothing.
There's people, there's people that lost houses and shit. But that's that's
Yeah.
kind of misbudgeted them.
2008 all over again.
Yeah.
Not looking at the fine print.
No.
Daniel, what you got? What's hot in the streets? Did
What's
you
on the
guys?
streets?
Did you guys see what my dad posted the other day? It was
Which one?
I commented on the picture. The fucking I don't know if it was in Mexicali, but I know it was in Mexico somewhere. Maybe it was in Mexicali because he does put local stuff. But sometimes you know how he goes far into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Go like
Was it a
Mexico City
graduating
or
class
something.
of cadets from fucking Mexico and shit? No, he posts
Nah,
random
what do I
fucking cadets and shit that graduate. Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, what do I care about that? But
No, I know.
no, he put a picture. I guess some kids were walking around like the canal bank, and they
Mhm.
saw like looked like a tiger that was chopped up, like in pieces.
Right.
And they got closer, and they thought it was like a stuffed animal or something, because it doesn't make sense, So they walked
Mhm.
up to it until they saw like the blood and the insides of it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So they called the police, and I guess the police didn't go over there for a while because I didn't think they thought
Yeah.
it was true.
They got better things
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. But then I guess when they did get there, they're like, "Oh shit, there is a fucking tiger chopped. Like the head was cut off. Like it was all just sitting in pieces right down the side of the canal." And I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like these fools
Actually, I had a
are
friend
losing their mind out there.
Not a friend.
Wildlife?
Actually, dude. Actually, I despise this guy.
Watch your words there, bro.
Despise this guy.
A known person.
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
do better.
Not even acquaintance,
acquaintance,
dude.
no,
No,
it's
just
not.
I know this dude. I knew this dude.
You know of him. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. A
Let's
terrible
rewind it.
human being, and
It's all right. Edit it.
and he was. We would make fun of him because he would fucking say he was slanging fucking monkeys, exotic fucking tigers, cats, everything, man. And it's like, out of all fucking things you could sell, dude, you're fucking selling fucking monkeys, man.
In the fucking desert, huh?
What
Fucking
kind of
heat
shit
and
is?
shit.
Yeah,
They
dude.
won't
Like,
even survive and shit.
bro, sell cocaine. There's all kinds of things that you can
Sell
do.
cocaine.
Sell cell phones.
What
You
the-
can work at Verizon.
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
2, you could go legal if you
Also,
really. Yeah, or like, I don't know, man.
sell cars maybe.
But yeah, there's a lot of that, and then it's just like they just get to a certain size and then they kill them like that. Exactly that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you just can't have. I mean,
No, you
What
can't
are you
have a
gonna have?
fucking adult
Either-
tiger because he's fucking gonna eat you and shit.
yeah,
most
either-
likely.
or you just throw them. What I suspect is that you throw them a person. You throw them a person. I don't know. There's fucked up shit going on in
Right.
Mex right now, but
Yeah.
They-
But
yeah,
it's funny
so
you
they-
said that because they didn't say it was adult tiger. It was like a mid-size, like
Yeah, because
Kinda
it's
like
probably
in
getting
its
too
teen.
old already
Yeah.
for them to be controlled because
Yeah,
it's a
fucking-
fucking animal. You know what I mean?
yeah. So they just have them for a little bit and then they just kill them.
That's
Which
fucking.
is it's
Jesus,
a
bro.
fucking terrible,
Yeah.
terrible trade, bro. Terrible trade all around.
Look what China does to the dogs and shit. I'm over there.
The dog
Look at-
festival.
Oh, that thing is. Oh my god! You ever seen that, bro? Beto, the dog
Oh.
fest. They have a dog festival.
I don't. Is that when they had those one images of like
Yeah, where they fucking kill
Where
the
they-
dogs and they eat them and
Yeah.
shit right,
Yeah,
right then and
like,
there, and
they
they fucking
roast
skin
it
them
up.
alive and shit. Yeah, they skin them alive. They fucking yeah, it's pretty.
Still in 2025.
Yeah, well, that's like an annual thing, I think.
Yeah,
right. It's a yearly
so
event they have over there.
I used to work for an Asian man, and I would get along with him, and I would kind of fuck with him, and I told him one time, I said, "Hey,
Saca los
bro,
gatos.
what's up with the dog thing? Is that real?" And I'm not even asking on some fucked up shit. I
Yeah,
just really
I
want to
wanna
know
know.
because
Yeah.
it's a stereotype. But
They
is it
fucking eat
true?
anything? Yeah, they eat anything.
Is it true? And he's like, yeah, but no, they don't like, to them it's just another animal. It's a thing. It's a area thing, you know. It's just like in Peru they eat the guinea pigs,
Mm.
you know, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But not everywhere in Peru they do it, but it's just in some areas
Yeah.
that
Okay.
we're
So it's not all
accustomed.
of
You know what I
China.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was more for
like,
necessity, but they just never lost the custom, right?
yeah, and it's a custom, and you
They
know
just
how
kept it.
eating cow tripe. Not all cultures do that. They find it
Right.
really nasty,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it became a custom because we were trying to survive, and then it became a luxurious food. Now they're serving like some tripas cost a good amount,
Yeah.
dude. For
Oh,
three,
yeah.
for you eating fucking intestines,
Right.
you know. And so the
Yeah.
customs become and getting like so many people do it that it becomes expensive and stuff, and then
Trendy and
yeah,
shit.
and
gotcha.
trending and stuff, you know.
That's crazy. All right. What else you got, Daniel, son?
All right, hold on.
We're not going to talk about those fucking terrible fights yesterday because they were terrible. Not worth.
No,
They were that
Hey.
terrible or what?
Dude. Hey, what do you think? What do
Go
you
ahead.
think was terrible? Who was terrible? Both fighters
They
were
were
terrible.
all terrible.
Yeah,
Rolly
yeah,
was
yeah.
terrible. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Canelo was terrible. It's just
Well, his opponent
mean,
was terrible, which was not
not
surprising.
the one the one thing I will say about the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fights is the scenario they were put in was complicated. You're used to fighting these big shows on national TV with fans all over the place, and then you put a ring around, Madison Square, not Madison Square Garden. What's that place called in New York?
Times Square.
Times Square. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
You put it in Times Square, and there's like no audience. There's like just the people around the ring. That's it, because the street was too small. They didn't close down one street. I saw, so they just
No, it's-
basically put people around the ring that probably famous
They were
people.
just
and
tourists,
stuff.
I think. Tourists and fucking
Or famous
bums that were hanging
people.
out and shit.
Yeah. So, and then they had to drive a car to drop them off right there to go into the ring. So everything's
Yeah.
messed up already. You're not used to it. Your body's not used to it.
You're
Ryan
outside,
Garcia stayed.
yeah.
Ryan Garcia got taken in the Batmobile, which is not even
Terrible.
like a legal car to drive down the street. So he said he was smelling the fumes from the gas while they were waiting in the car. So that's
Fuck,
already
you
fucking
serious?
you up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, no excuses. They still fought like shit, but I get it. It's something you're not used to. They do all this fancy show. That fucking guy from Saudi Arabia, whatever. I think
Yeah.
he's just trying to do a little too much, too fast, to try to get the numbers up. But I mean, when you put on a show like
Boxing-
that, you're just gonna lose money. Yeah.
Yeah, I think boxing, from what I saw yesterday, it looks like
It's dying, huh?
it's dying, bro.
It's dying
bad.
bad.
I'm like, what the
Bad.
fuck? Does not even know. Remember those old fights we used to see and shit?
Yeah.
Fucking, they would, battle out. I mean, not everybody, but there was technique. There was, there. Now it's like no heart and shit. It's all gimmicks and fucking money. Which
Yeah.
I mean, that guy has but that's the fault, letting this guy come in, because he has fucking money. He'll basically, once that opponent of Canelo knew that he had already gotten paid. That's why he was running around, because he got
Yeah,
paid
that's
already.
it.
So what the fuck? There was no incentive to fight and shit.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna get knocked out, and I'm the last 12 rounds. I'm gonna take my check and go home, and that's my
Right,
career.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see it, but it's also who put that fight together, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
it's also
He
like,
doesn't- I mean-
why don't we put somebody that really wants to fight Canelo, that despises him, that really wants to get in there and just beat him up, not just take a paycheck, And there's a lot of people like that, but it is what it is. But speaking
And
of,
they're digging their own grave at the end of the day. They're
Yeah.
digging,
Yeah,
they're
but
digging their
it's-
own grave. Fans are gonna get tired.
but that
Fans are
Asian
already
guy's
moving to the.
that Asian guy. Sorry, Daniel. That Asian guy is fighting
No,
today. Inoue,
Oh, yeah.
they call him,
Right.
and that's going to be a good one. Those are fighters that they're still
Fucking
building
gonna-
themselves up, and they're beasts. And today's going to be a good show. This is going to
Nah,
we'll
dude,
probably
I'm
have
gonna.
this.
Is it on
We'll
the
have this
zone?
aired. Yeah, No, ESPN Plus. And we're gonna
ESPN
air
Plus, I have
this
it.
after, so they'll probably miss it. But if you can go back and watch that fight for you boxing fans, like that's a fight you want to watch. A lot of these big show fights are just people who want paychecks.
Gimmicks.
The same thing
Yeah,
with the same thing with music. What the fuck you gonna go see Beyonce if you really like music?
No.
I'm sure she has a good catalog, but a true fan, I'll go watch 10,000 different bands before I even go watch Lady Gaga. Although there was 1.8 million in the Lady Gaga show in
Yeah.
Brazil, but what am I gonna? That's not all of music, and that there's people who really care about the craft, they really care about the art, and will give it their all instead of looking for okay, where can we get the most money, or what are we doing? Fuck Canelo for taking advantage of and milking the nationalists and the Mexican fans that give everything just because he's performing on that day.
Consumers.
When at the end of the day, what
Yeah.
did he show? What did he give you? For the love of the sport or for the love of money? So
Right.
just a bunch of bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Watching that fight, there's a lot of people that say he was running around and Canelo couldn't touch him. That's part of the game, bro. Like,
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
boxing.
That's it.
101.
That's it.
That's boxing
Not
101.
But he
is-
wasn't throwing
is-
anything, bro. He was just
but-
one pop shots. Yeah. But I
But
get
what
you,
I'm
I get
saying
you.
is
I hear you.
boxing 101 is closing down the ring and making it smaller. Being
Yes.
able to corner him and throw your combinations
Yes.
once you got him there. So Canelo also wasn't
He wasn't
doing
He didn't
what-
have that speed.
exactly.
he doesn't have that in his repertoire. So that's on
Yeah,
him.
to do it.
It's not on nobody
Yeah.
else. There probably could have been another boxer that could have just moved left, right with him with speed and been like, close it down and blah, 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 and
Mhm.
just shut him down. But it's the
Yeah,
style
I
that
would
made
just like
the
to see
fight.
more
and-
combinations from that other guy. That was it. But he did his shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he did what he needed
Yeah.
to do. So
And
can't
he was
hate on
quick,
that.
and he was quick with it, and he
Yeah,
was
can't
quick
hate.
with it, and he used what he had to his advantage. But like you said, if Canelo really wanted to go in there and tear it up, then he would have countered
he would have got somebody else to fight him.
either that or
Or find
countered
another game plan.
countered his method of moving around.
Yeah, different game plan. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Exactly. What you got, Daniel? Throw it at us.
Oh, the NFL prank calls. I don't know if you know, but they were calling people and telling them they were on the first draft. That's fucked up, dude.
I saw that shit. I think
did it to
the worst
Sanders,
one.
Deion Sanders is,
Yeah, that was was the worst one. I think Sanders.
yeah, they got fined.
He
Too,
got
though.
it
They got fined. It was some NFL dudes that did it too.
I'm
and
sure.
shit. It
I'm
was-
sure.
yeah.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, dude, we're gonna fucking fuck with these dudes, and
No, it wasn't. It wasn't NFL. Well, it was related to the
Was it
NFL,
co-
but it
was
was
it-
it was a coach, a defensive coach from the
Yeah,
Atlanta
that's right.
Falcons.
a
It was
coach,
his
yeah.
son that did it.
Oh,
So
okay.
he
it
had
was
his
son.
he
He had his
claimed
son
he had
do it?
no. He
Oh.
claimed he had left his phone in the office and his son was in there and he saw his Shadur Sanders' phone number in there. So he took it
He
and on his
claimed
own
that,
time
allegedly.
he fucking videotaped it and did it, for TikTok likes or whatever.
Oh,
And he posted it, and that's when they fucking saw like this fool posted it. He actually posted it, bro. Like, what did you think was gonna happen by you
You
posting it?
motherfuckers are dumb.
down. They're tracking you down with the
Motherfuckers are
quickness.
Dumb. No
IP
no sense.
address.
No sense. I'm telling you.
Has to be the. It's not even an IP address. He posted on his fucking TikTok page. What IP
Yeah,
address do you
I
need?
mean,
He's fucking it's his page, yeah.
Self-incrimination.
So they fined the coach like a bunch of money. So not only did you
$55,000 or
fuck it
something
up
like
for
that?
yourself, like you fucked up your. I think it was worse.
Is it worse?
Yeah, I think it was worse, and coaches don't get paid like NFL players, so fucking a fine for
No.
them really like, oh shit, fuck. There goes your fucking
Yeah.
allowance, asshole.
Nah, he
There's
put him
your
up.
bonus.
I think the dad put him up to it, bro. And he was like, "Hey, do this, fool. Nah, don't worry, bro. I got money and shit. I'll get in trouble. I'll get a fine. Maybe all right." But fuck the Sanders. You probably said it.
I don't
I hope
know
not.
because if they,
That's
I
pretty
don't know
fucked up,
because if they would have
but it's
found
funny,
out
but
that he had something to do with it, then I think it'd be a worse punishment.
of course.
yeah,
man.
so-
I'm just talking shit, but
Who knows? But I mean, yeah. And again, you can't like. There's a time for pranks and jokes and shit like that, but someone's career like that is on the line. That's fucked up, bro. These people are waited their whole life for that moment.
I mean, it's funny. It's not funny.
It's
of course, it wouldn't be funny if it happened with
Legendary
me, but
yeah.
it's funny.
Fucking joke. Imagine he's jumping up and fucking down in his room, and he's like,
I made it.
"Damn, bro."
yeah, that's
Oh,
fucking
man,
terrible.
it's good
But
stuff.
Hey, but to a fucking little, if his son actually did it to a little shit, dude, that'd be the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
greatest, man.
Yeah. And then that's the thing, people like they're more lenient because it's the Sanders, because of the way they are, as the family, like they're flamboyant or whatever, they don't they don't take shit from anybody, so that's why people are letting the slack out. But yeah, but if it was just some regular Joe Schmo, they'd be like, nah, that's fucked up.
If it would have happened to like a fucking white boy quarterback that was going for the
All
fifth round, and they call him in the first round and say, "Hey, you just got signed to the fucking Patriots." Oh
Not
yeah,
crying and shit.
nah, we lying, fool.
I'm just playing, huh?
We just playing. What else you got, Daniel?
An unattended child scratched an iconic $50 million painting by Mark Rothko
Wasn't Juju?
at a at a museum in the Netherlands, dude.
Ooh, the Netherlands, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Hey,
Was
and
it
then
a
the next
tourist?
one, I'm not sure. It doesn't go into
Sure.
that.
From Brawley and shit.
It says
Pinches niños and shit. Chingados.
a Dutch town hall said it may have accidentally thrown out a valuable Andy Warhol painting from 1985, along with roughly 50 other pieces of art during a building renovation. Actually, it's funny because some of those paintings are just like 3 colors, so they're like to contrast. They're more modern art. So I'm sure that when someone was cleaning, they're like, "What the fuck is this
Piece of paper and shit.
Yeah,
Get
bro.
this shit out of
fucking
here.
Kindergarten
Fucking
shit is
I
this,
know.
dude? They fucking threw it out. They didn't
Fucking
know.
Andy
Did you
Warhol.
say Yora was cleaning it?
It's a fucking Mexican lady, huh? Chingadera que está mal, ándale. Chinga su madre.
What happens in a scenario like that? Like when a kid fucks up a painting that's worth that much money? Accidentally.
They got insurance. I think they're cool.
Yeah, they got insurance on it, but it's not like you could.
But I mean, it's ruined.
You can't bring it back, It's fucking a real painting.
Well, how big of a? It depends on the scratch, though. Like
said it was superficial.
superficial. You can buff it out.
Buff it out.
Call the
Throw a
fucking
little
car wash
more-
guy or what? Shout out to the
throw a
car wash
little-
guy.
You could
Yeah,
call
put a little more
his nearest relative.
That touch-up paint, bro.
Touch-up.
Touch up paint. There you go, bro. All right, Beto's in charge of the
That's
touch up.
crazy.
Let's watch out for baby Tuti at the museums, okay? Please.
I know, Tommy. Watch your damn kids, people. Shit.
No, right? I'm telling you.
What else you got, Daniel?
That's pretty much it. The Pope died. They're looking for another one.
The Pope died.
Looking for another one? The Pope died.
Like for another
Come
one.
on, bro. Has a little more respect.
What's up with
The Pope's important
It's
to
like
some
another
people.
president, dude.
Right? Pretty
It's like
much.
another
Well,
president.
the Vatican's its own fucking country.
Oh yeah, right. They have its own little
yeah,
city,
it's own,
right?
It's its own country.
Vatican City.
Yeah, they have its own police station.
what is the Pope? Like, if you were trying to define, like, to someone,
The Pope is the ultimate channel to God. He speaks to God.
according to who? According to him?
According to the men in the house, they say this motherfucker right here, man, he's one of the holiest
of holies.
This is the holy grail right here. And so he is in charge, basically like God's right hand man, or like let's say God whispers in his ear.
This conciliary? Or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
God whispers
So-
in his ear. So he's the most powerful holy man.
And Yvonne, you said they have their own little city?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Vatican City. That's
Yeah.
where the Church of Catholicism. That's
Church
its
of Saint-
fucking
Saint
base
Peter.
of operation. That's
Saint
What
Peter, right?
religion is it?
Catholicism.
Catholicism, Catholics.
It's Catholic?
It was made by the disciple, one of the apostles, Peter. I think it was Peter who started the church after Jesus Christ died, because he was also crucified.
Mm.
So that's where the
it
change
goes all the
came
way
from.
back then.
Yeah. But Rome
Is
before
it during
that,
the Roman Empire or
yeah,
after?
Yeah,
Or during?
yeah. They started recognizing later.
okay.
Sometime around, they started recognizing the religion. I don't know if that was a means of control or whatever, but
There's more. Yeah,
there was a lot of people around the empire that heard about Jesus and what he did. So,
Mm.
but while Jesus was alive, they still believed in gods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he was claiming that there is only one true God.
Because the kings, they practiced Catholicism or they were Christians.
Before they didn't. Before they didn't.
right? They
Before
no,
they
the
believed
king
in the
was
gods.
the king. Oh, okay.
Like
but the
in
king was the ruler.
Mercury,
Mm.
all those gods, like the
Mhm.
Greek mythology. There's Roman mythology.
Okay.
So they kind of had the same gods, and then some point
But
in
even
time,
in English too, like the King Henry.
no, those that was after Christianity began to take over.
That was. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was also another Christian church that started in Ethiopia, which is one of the oldest Christian churches. But
African brother.
Yeah, and they have this church in a mountain that you have to climb the side of the mountain, and it's like really really steep to get up there. And they have old pictures in there.
But the one they call Mount Sinai, I don't know.
I barely want to go to church as it is. I gotta climb up a mountain. I'll pass.
Dude, let me see.
Hey, a little hiking, get a little exercise out of it, bro. See?
And how do they choose the next? How do they choose the next pope? Is just whoever they think is the most holiest in there?
That's a good question.
Emperor Constantine converted it was called Constantine's conversion, and it was during the 4th century when Christianity was recognized as a religion.
4th century.
Daniel, Google, how did they choose the next pope? I think the people want to know. I want to know. By the people, I mean me. I don't know. Is it just Chin
people,
Champoo?
Bro?
They do Chin Champoo,
or maybe they draw straws.
Superman fly right out.
They have like a list and they draw straws. Or maybe they have like a dream sheet, They're like, hey,
a dream sheet.
Yeah, like, hey, we have these candidates here.
It says anybody could be elected a pope.
What does that mean?
Hold on. Like anybody could, but you have to be
they're not
picked.
gonna do that.
Yeah, of course. But cardinals, it says cardinals will gather in Vatican City for a conclave in order to choose a successor to Pope Francis, who died on April 21. The term conclave comes from a Latin word for a room that can be locked up. The conclave will begin May 7th. It will be the first in 20 years to take place after a pontiff's death. A conclave must start 15 to 20 days after the Pope's chair becomes lawfully vacant. That's according to an apostolic constitution written by Pope John Paul II in 1996 and updated by Benedict XVI in 2013. Let's see.
So basically,
the conclave,
no, go ahead.
The conclave takes place in the Vatican City and is governed by the Holy See, which is a Roman Catholic government. The cardinals will gather at St. Peter's Basilica to celebrate a special mass before solemnly proceeding later in the day inside the Sistine Chapel, where the voting will take place. So they sit in this room and they just chill and they see who's gonna run the
They just chill.
They just go in the room and say, "Wait, who's running the shit?"
Fat ass fucking dabbing. Like, all right, who's next? This shit.
Wait a minute, yeah, for real. Who's next?
Fucking molested the least children?
Yeah.
Come on, who's next?
Yeah. He's got the least dirt on his
Jesus
name.
Christ.
He got the least fucking dirt in his name.
Who's got the face? Yeah, that's crazy.
The longest
So-
face,
but it can go on until they find a new pope, because the longest papal election in history took more than 2 years.
oh shit! So they can
prompt
go
reforms.
2 years without nobody.
Including that the cardinals meet in the conclave to elect a new pope. Yeah.
Well, they gotta do interviews, bro. That's why. I mean,
2 years.
references,
Jesus Christ.
Cardinals-
Long-ass fucking-
Cardinals-
it's like the fucking
background
join the
check.
CBP. Sorry.
Okay, it says who can vote in
Yeah.
the election? Cardinals, the senior most clergy in the Catholic Church behind the Pope, who are under the age of 30 at the time of the papal vacancy, are the only eligible electors on the conclave.
So young cats do it.
100,
cats.
135 of the church's 252 cardinals will be eligible to vote for the next pontiff in 2025. Though 2 cardinals said that they will not take part due to health reasons.
Tan viejitos, yeah.
Yeah.
The oldies
They
baguns.
do
They got
do a
black
polygraph
belts.
test?
All the black belts get together. What?
all the black belts. Let's do a polygraph test, background test, all the stuff.
Fucking little 2-minute run,
Some push-ups.
jog in place,
Some push-ups. How many pull-ups can you do?
touch your
It
toes.
probably is like the border patrol test. Huh? Fucking
Yeah, see, yeah,
carry a
fucking
bag of
like-
sand from here to there. Go.
That's right.
All right, guys, we're done for today. Ivan, happy birthday, happy 44.
Appreciate it.
birthday,
Daniel,
Roski.
love you.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you
Thank
guys.
Love you guys. I'll see you when I get back home so we can celebrate.
All right, hurry up.
All right, love
Later.
you.
Got drinks, got smoke, got weed. got all the girls, got everything we need. And I see them all. But who brought the fat girl? Drink another, smoke another, get it retarded. I know this where the party is, so get this bitch started. And if you want some liquor, girl, you can go and lick a girl. Get it poppin' till like 6 in the morning. Now break it down.